welcome to Fanservice, your live weekly geek fuel trip into the world of pop culture. Right here on the Fanboy TV Block Party, we have so much fun with you guys every week, talking about all sorts of fun things. I'm one of your hosts, Gavin Stone, joined by...
I'm Harley.
And in honor of reboots, we've rebooted Pocky.
I recasted him.
Hey, Pocky.
She's a lot prettier.
How you doing?
No one recasts the beard out.
Aw, see, told you should have had a yarn beard. Should have been a yarn beard.
We'll make you a yarn beard later.
Maybe we can cast her as something else.
We'll discuss it during the show.
We'll discuss it later. Oh,
And
I'm Jeffrey. Hi.
he's way too excited today. We're going to have all sorts of fun today because Harley really wants to talk about reboots and remakes and nostalgia.
Mostly how she hates them.
Cut you.
I am so done with reboots.
And it seems like that's all we have these days. Reboots, remakes.
Where's the
How
original
many
material?
times
Never
Are
happened.
you
We have-
going to tell me Batman's backstory?
So I
Or
thought
Spider-Man. Don't forget that one.
to have a lot of fun to bring in a super special guest today who he and I argue all the time off camera. His name is Graham. And,
Hey, Graham.
See,
we've
Gavin
had
gets
heated
in between
arguments
two
over
faces.
this before, so
Yeah.
I thought this would be quite fun to bring him in because we kind of want to do him versus me at some point in time over this because our passionate argument over Nightmare on Elm Street reboot is legendary.
Stop it.
So
Stop making
argument for
those.
that alone is worthwhile.
That was going to get really interesting.
So we're going to start off with this week's news, and it's a busy week for news.
It's actually an awesome week for news, in my opinion. but
It was, and everyone had something to talk about. So first off is Pocky.
Okay, Fallout the board game. There's actually two of them technically, but right now I'm only talking about one of them. Fantasy Flight is releasing an awesome individual grid-based board game based off Fallout. And it's very in-depth, as we know, because it's Fantasy Flight. They do everything. It's going to probably be close to a $100 board game.
Close.
Well, okay, but
dollars?
That's-
if you've
that's-
never
I love-
seen Fantasy Flight board games, they're
I love the
expensive, but
passion
they're
behind this, but the thing you said that's just already deterring me is it's going to be so in-depth. I'm kind of tired of the games that take you 2 days to play.
well. It's I don't know how in-depth it's going to be.
Or
the
like
in-depth
9
of,
hours.
Well, the other thing that when I mean in-depth is they actually have the special as a skill. Yeah, we're not talking about
Sorry. He was like, or 9 hours. Like you played a 9-hour board game before.
I kind of did.
Have you ever played Tabula Rasa?
Oh,
Twilight Imperium?
so
Have you
like
played Risk before?
No.
Battlestar Galactica? Hello?
Risk is like a 2-hour board game tops.
I don't know. It depends who you're playing with.
No, not for me.
Twilight Imperium.
So
The original-
I'm okay with this,
Yes.
but I'm also very nervous that it's going to be another one of those games. It's going to be $150, and it takes 3 days to play, and the rules are so complicated.
And weeks to
How
learn.
are we supposed to be bringing in new people who want to
Well-
experience board games with these things that are behemoths nonstop?
So I've seen some of the pictures of this thing. What I think they're doing is they're doing like their RuneScape and scenarios where it's little individual adventures, and so you can make it 3 or 4 hours long, or you can make it just a simple short mission. Because what it is that the environments are little hexagonal shapes, and then you can add more and subtract more depending on how
Ooh,
big the
you
adventure.
get to build your own terrain.
Exactly. Also,
Oh, God. More
So-
pieces.
To
well,
lose.
it's Fantasy Flight. They have 900 pieces in every box.
They do.
Guaranteed.
So it'll be interesting to see how this comes out. Next
Yes.
up on our
900?
news
Seriously.
is one from Jeffrey.
Huh?
Jeff-
News?
Oh, yes, I have. Okay, so if you guys haven't been paying attention to the interwebs,
Who hasn't been paying attention to the internet?
right?
Yeah, videos?
So Deadpool 2 is going to be coming out, and they just announced Cable. If you haven't seen the photos, go online, look up Deadpool 2 Cable. Looks.
Spot on look. I'm not even gonna
Oh
lie.
my God!
Yeah.
You
Teddy
know,
bear,
I
the muscles,
originally-
everything. It's just the
I originally
badass
was a
look.
Cable,
I
but
think.
now
It,
I think it's good.
and the actor's name is escaping
Brolin.
me. Thank
Josh
you.
Brolin, yes.
Yeah. So, just overall, I think they casted this character really well.
I was
I
a little
think the
surprised.
outfit is dead on.
Yes.
Dead on.
It's amazing how 20th Century Fox has this one really good comic book license that they just left alone, and it's their best one. But the ones they keep putting their hands in just keep getting jacked up.
Oh,
like
no.
Fantastic.
like
Four.
reboots.
They actually
Hey,
you should actually hear the stories behind the actual original Deadpool movie. They didn't leave it alone. Actually, they had to do a lot of things behind the scenes.
Here's Pocky, the whole Buzz
ruins it for
Killatin.
all of us.
Way to go, Beard.
Indeed.
No, I get it, but they were
Power of
also
the beard.
they trusted him to do what needed to be
Oh,
done,
Yeah.
and they got a badass superhero movie out of it. That still alluded to the fact that it existed in the MCU because it was a helicarrier. No one can deny it was a helicarrier at the
It
end.
was.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
So they
My
had
big-
the balls to do it. Let's just hopefully they decide to do something nice.
And before we smash on the casting, let's wait and see how it turns out.
Well, we've been pretty happy so far.
Oh.
So next up is a story from Harley.
So
She was excited to say this thing when she got here.
I
today.
was very excited.
I was
So-
hoping you were going to take this one.
I am big on streaming service. We don't have cable in our home.
Neither do
All
I.
we use is streaming services.
Netflix, Hulu, Verve.
And
that's all I
so,
got.
unfortunately, to my finding out, Disney broke their contracts with Netflix, and they're going to start their own streaming service.
Wait, what?
Well,
Yes,
they
Disney
broke.
the contract with
Net-
Netflix, and they're going to start their own streaming service, which might be backing out now and going back to Netflix because their
stock.
stock like plummeted a day after they announced it.
So the full part of this story is they pulled out, but they specifically said they're movies. So like all the
No,
Disney
it was their whole catalog by
Yeah, the whole catalog.
2019 would
But
come to
minus-
their own streaming service, which makes complete sense to me. But
Wow.
they're doing it because of ESPN. ESPN is failing and tanking Disney as a company.
Yes.
Yeah, ESPN is.
But
yeah.
they have their own streaming service overseas,
You're still mad.
where
still upset.
everything Disney does is on the streaming service, books,
Yeah.
everything, and it's killing it over there. So I
Yeah.
get the idea behind wanting to put it all behind their own streaming service, but they already own part of Hulu, and they already, I don't think they're part of it, but they are part of Hulu. Just put it where you
Yeah.
already have
Seriously,
something
put your
established.
stuff already there. I mean, I don't-
exactly.
Disney needs to realize what they do overseas that works so fantastically. They just need to bring over here,
See, I
like
don't get
villains,
that.
like the villains.
We've
So-
talked about the villains plenty of times in the past 2
Villains,
weeks.
So,
villains,
but
villains,
here-
reboot, villains,
Here-
villains.
Shush. The thing that works overseas though is and particularly in Asia, their streaming services are all about movies. With television, it's all going through their actual official like TV Tokyo has their own streaming service.
Yes.
So the problem with Disney though is they're also focusing on their TVs. And that's not going to get them success because everyone goes through Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
not Hulu or Netflix, even CBS has realized this.
But
Because all I was gonna say was even CBS realizes because they're now putting Discovery on Netflix after the season ends.
Yes.
no, it's going to be at the same time.
Same time.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
But
but even they
if
realize
Disney-
they can't get away from Netflix.
They have the power to say we're doing our own streaming service. Tell me who would to sign up for it. I would. I
Apparently,
know
and-
you would.
I am going to.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the investors thought it was such a bad idea. Their stock took a very nice 25% hit.
Hey, if they broke up with ESPN, I'm down for them.
All right, next up, another
Still
fun
remember.
story from overseas. They have Special Forces Boba Fett bulletproof helmets for the military. They literally look like Boba Fett's helmet. They're bulletproof, and they're testing them out overseas. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Jill wants one already.
They are so awesome looking. Like, you get shot in the head
Boba
and be
Fett.
fine.
Bulletproof Boba Fett. Yeah, do you know how Jill has already had me pricing these things
I
online so
think
she can have one?
cosplayers have just lost their mind
But
worldwide.
the military designed them, and they really do look like Boba Fett's helmet.
They do.
Everything about it, except they're black, and they're bulletproof, and they're helping like soldiers like do badass things over there. I'm like, really?
And it's
So
Boba
are
Fett.
we getting closer to like some sort of
Star
Empire
Wars?
taking over.
Yes.
Well, no, because Japan and America are right now in a race to see who can build the first giant robot. They're actually about to have a giant robot war.
Meanwhile,
Japan's
England's over there
giant
going,
robots.
hey, we just want to make sure our soldiers are smart.
And we live in
Right.
a country where the Empire is trying to take over.
Well,
Oh, here goes
So-
Jeffrey
so-
off on his Trump hate.
so, and then like other things, and it's like, are we getting close to like RoboJocks?
Yes.
No, we're getting close to Skynet. Not
I'd ra-
RoboJocks.
I'd rather have
Are you
RoboJocks.
kidding me?
Empire is trying to take over.
All right,
I'd rather have RoboJocks.
Last but
Jeffrey's
not
on Star
least,
Wars now.
another Star Wars story. Everyone was really excited about this one. That Captain Rex, everyone's fan favorite, is actually in Return of the Jedi. If you look, they designed him in Rebels or something to look like the old man shooting a gun in Return of the Jedi. I was like, that's a stretch right there, but that's hey, we love our fans, you know?
Yes.
Like they compared his new design for some show, and they just ripped it right out of Return of the Jedi. I was like, man, that guy just won't die.
I'm proud to
No, he
say
won't.
I finally watched the Star Wars movies the other day.
But you watched the 2016. Never mind.
I watched the first. Hey, I watched them in order now.
What order?
Uh,
There's only one order. 4, 5, 6,
6,
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 4,
Okay.
5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
I want to make sure that I'm not going to have to boot you from the show for
No,
life.
Jill made me watch them in the correct order, including.
I thought there was
Rogue One.
only 4, 5, 6, 7 in episode 1.
There's Rogue One,
We got Rogue One
4, 5, 6.
and
then
7.
the new
Okay, okay. So once if you go back, I'm just hypothetically saying.
Jeffrey, you're skating thin ice here, boy.
1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 4,
All right.
5, 6, 7. Wait, I still have one more
We're not
thing
talking
to
about him
show.
anymore. We're
One
done.
more thing to show.
Oh,
That's
Okay.
the end. Okay, yes.
you were lucky. I'm letting you do this.
So,
He
with
wants us to
Fanboy
watch
TV,
1, 2, and 3.
just so you viewers know, mail us up on our fanboytv.com website. We now have nifty little postcards, and we have
Awesome posters.
And on one of the biggest things yet. Are you ready for this?
Look how excited he is.
Starfleet, the International Star Trek Fan Association. I am now an official member with over 500,000 people worldwide.
He's Super Saiyan level 2
Go
nerd.
Archangel!
He's excited.
All right, so
I
that's
even
been it
passed
for
my
this week's
OTS
news.
exam. I'm an ensign.
We are now
The
going
Joint Science
to
Officer.
head into our first
Wait,
segment
that's-
where
Vulcan.
I don't feel bad for Jeffrey at all. He has to judge our Geek versus Geek.
So we're going to Geek versus
We're going to
Geek
Geek,
now.
Geek versus Geek. Good luck, Jeffrey, because it's me against our special guest Graham on what movie needs a reboot.
Wait,
We'll be
was
right
that-
back after
Nothing
this.
needs a
Oh.
reboot.
Welcome to Geek vs. Geek, where we put two of our contestants against each other. Each have 3 minutes. One is the intro, then the rebuttal, and then an exit. So, we got over here to my right.
Today's battle is the movie that needs to remake the most. I am picking Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh my gosh. And to the left, we have our special guest today.
Yeah, we're going to do this. I'm Graham Young, and I've picked the obscure 1988 film Killing American Style.
Oh God, I hate you guys.
So I purposely...
You've got gross and exploitation, so
Yeah.
So I'm the judge today. My name's Jeffrey, and I purposely made sure I did not check to see what they were talking about. So this is going to be very interesting. And God, these two. Oh, all right. So let's go ahead and start with Gavin. Gavin, you got about 1 minute starting now.
All right, so we're doing movies that need a reboot. Everyone wants to reboot the popular franchises. Let's reboot a very unpopular franchise that has a torrid, horrible history. I'm picking the Garbage Pail Kids movie because we live in a day and age, and this is Fantastic Fest is proof positive of this. We're up for more experimental cinema, more grosser cinema, and let's face it, the original Garbage Pail Kids movie failed on every level. I own it, and Graham makes fun of me for that, but it wasn't gross. It wasn't a good movie. It was a musical. Everything wrong with that movie. But now we're riding on this nostalgia factor of let's reboot all these 80s properties. Well, let's do a really gross, horror-filled Garbage Pail Kids movie the proper way without music and actual Garbage Pail Kids in it that, you know, the story wasn't all that bad, but they could have done some things differently. So, like,
You got
maybe
about 10
they're all
seconds.
in an orphanage, whatever it is, now's the time for a really good exploitation-esque Garbage Pail Kids horror movie. I'm done.
Okay, that's a really good intro, and he's already getting goodie points with me on this one. So, Graham, let's go ahead and take it away.
What's my reaction to that?
No, this is
Right.
your opening
This
argument.
Oh, it's my opening argument
This
for
is
my
the opening
film.
argument.
Okay.
All right, and go ahead and start now.
Okay, so I chose Killing American Style, which I think is a pretty cool movie, but it has some major setbacks. It's a cheap, straight-to-video action film from the 1980s, but unfortunately it has a lot of sexual assault, which is not a party, it's not fun. And this is kind of a film where it's late night, you have a couple of beers with your friends, maybe a little grass, I don't know, I don't want to judge anybody, but, and you
with
just
that.
kind of party and watch a really fun, exciting action movie. And those scenes just kill you when you're watching them, and it just takes you out of the party. And so I think doing a movie in the vein and trying to capture that gritty and cheap late 1980s sort of filmmaking, but add more awkward consensual sex and less
Yeah,
sexual
10
assault.
seconds.
And I think that would really, because anybody that knows me knows that I love awkward consensual sex in the movies. I'll end it there, Gavin.
Clear. What just happened? Wow.
Okay.
So we got two really good intros coming in. You guys suck because this is really hard for me. Wow. Okay. So Gavin, go ahead and start it off with your defense. Starting
Okay,
now.
so you want awkward consensual sex? It's not going to happen in a Garbage Pail Kids movie. It's innocent enough, but you could actually go that route if you wanted to. The problem with your film, Graham, is seriously, nobody has any idea what this movie is. There's no established franchise. There's no backing of it, unless you're one of those weird exploitation film lovers. Then you don't really understand why this movie would need to be remade. I think the sexual tension in it probably would still translate today, but it would definitely be one of those underground movies where you got to get a little high. Not as high as you need to be to watch a Garbage Pail Kids movie there. I'm going to be real honest about that right here. But seriously, I think your movie's a weaker choice that would need a reboot simply based on the fact that it's an unknown commodity and no one's dealing with unknown commodities these days. However, Garbage Pail Kids isn't no commodity. It's still around these days. You just got to do it properly where they're not singing and peeing on themselves and not being gross. So I'm done with my counter argument.
Oh my God. He's getting me, but you got me with a really good intro. So, Graham, go ahead.
I wasn't prepared for his intro,
Go
just
ahead
so
and
you
take it
know.
away.
Gavin made some really excellent points, but it doesn't change the fact that my movie rules and Gavin sucks. I can remember when I was a kid, and my mom said, "Graham, please don't watch Garbage Pail Kids, or I'm going to ground you." And of course, I watched it anyway, and it was so horrible. I told on myself. I went up to my mom and I said, "Mom, I watched Garbage Pail Kids," and she put her arm around my shoulder and she said, "Son, you've suffered enough." And I think that really sort of sums up what shit Garbage Pail Kids is. And look, Gavin has made an excellent point with Killing American Style. No one knows what the movie is.
I think
but
you
that's
have
kind
10
of cool.
seconds. I don't know. Just keep going.
Okay, cool. But
We're done.
any movie, it deserves a remake more than Garbage Pail Kids. It is shite.
Okay.
I'm ready. Give me my closing
I
time.
wish
Let's
you
go.
folks, the viewers at home right now, wherever you are, could see our crew because everyone is literally in tears, and I'm almost in tears here. So let's see what kind of shite you can get with an exit, Gavin.
All right, so yeah, Garbage Pail Kids wasn't a good movie. No one liked it. You got in trouble for just watching it. You people felt sorry for you. You know why? Because that movie was not done justice. Your movie could be done justice by anyone from Quentin Tarantino who will just do the same thing and be like, "Oh, it's just Quentin Tarantino doing his regular thing." Nah, Garbage Pail Kids would be a bigger challenge to reboot and a much more worthwhile challenge because, you know what? This way you get redemption for having to have watched it as a child. Yes, I own this movie, Graham. I shared it with Charles, and you were like, "Why?" Because this movie deserves better. That's why it needs a reboot. This is a franchise. This is a movie that deserves absolute
5 seconds.
much better. Give us Gross. Give us Nacho in charge of it. We'll be fine.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just jumping into this already.
So far you got a really good intro. You got a really good defense.
I'm never going to be consensual awkward sex. I mean, let's be honest here.
Good exit. Graham.
The best sex there is consensual, awkward sex, especially when it's filmed.
Graham, go ahead and go with the next, sir.
So, again, Gavin...
You get another 10 seconds to talk, just because.
Kevin makes a
Consensual
good point when he says that no one knows what these movies are. But I think bringing something fresh to the table, the film was made by Amir Chevron. He's an Iranian filmmaker, and not only did he make Killing American Style, he also directed Hollywood Cop and my favorite movie, Samurai Cop. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's absolutely amazing. And I think that sort of these are just great action movies that you can make today. Again, anything is better than Garbage Pail Kids. I can't believe Charles is still on speaking terms with you after letting him borrow that. It is absolutely awful. And also, I question whether or not you even like children after wanting to subject them to a remake.
But he's a father.
I work with children. Have you not seen this crew? Have you not seen this crew?
We are his lost boys.
There we go.
Okay, this is a lot
right.
harder than I
Gavin's a
thought it was
father
going
to
to be.
all of us.
And no, Charles watched it within 2 days. It wasn't that bad.
Charles was being nice. Charles was being kind
Charles
to
likes
Gavin.
So-
exploitation films.
Charles is one of our security guys here. He's awesome. I love him to death. So,
Who wins?
this is a really, really hard choice.
I told Jeffrey, I don't feel bad for you for this one. This is going to be
So,
tough.
No
but I'm
ties,
gonna go
no
ahead.
ties.
So we're gonna do a little bit different here. I'm gonna raise someone's hand, and we're gonna have the audience behind here applaud on who will win.
Remember who your godfather is.
Just because you pay us doesn't mean anything. All right, if Gavin should win,
All of you people. Screw all of you people. I got Harley on my side.
And Graham should win. All right, everyone, we got ourselves a winner. Graham, you win a poster of Fanboy TV.
All right.
Congratulations. You get a postcard.
And all I want to say is, if you thought this debate was great, just wait for the Nightmare on Elm Street debate.
God.
Graham and I want to do a thing called Graham versus Gavin because we get in arguments just about every weekend.
Pocky, real quick before we go forward, did you think this was an equal match?
No.
Garbage Pail Kids is a good movie. What is your problem?
So here's my thing. Garbage Pail Kids was a commercial that failed at every aspect. At least I can say, and I have seen your movie, that it was made by a man who wanted to make a movie, and he did. And Samurai Cop is a great movie. It's just absolutely crap.
Anyways, folks, we hope you enjoyed the Geek versus Geek today. It's seriously been a really good one.
And
so
you
stay
can play at
tuned
home with
for
the home
more
game.
content.
Right
We'll
after
be
this.
back. Oh, it's all right.
All right, welcome back to the show. I got to give Graham this one. That was a
Dude,
good
that was
one.
awesome.
He pulled out the awkward consensual sex, and it was done. I knew it was done. Harley was on my side. Thank you, Harley.
I collect Garbage Pail Kids cards.
We need that as a shirt. Awkward
Consensual sex.
That's my T-shirt when I come on
Garbage
next
Pail
time.
Can we have it the
It has to
Garbage
have
Pail
the little
Fanboys?
Garbage
Garbage Pail
Pail Kids.
Fanboys. There we go.
Garbage Pail fanboys.
Graham
Yes.
has to
I'm
be
just
Graham awkward casual sex. Like that seems to be
That
on the
was a
card
really
somewhere.
good debate. I really enjoyed it. But really, it was really hard for me to choose which one. But I'm sorry, he really got me with consensual sex.
Well,
And
when
awkward,
Gavin-
and also by you getting grounded by your mother, and it's like you suffered enough.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Now, you don't
Gavin, that was a
understand.
really
When
good
I
choice,
told
though.
Graham I bought that movie, his look was like,
I want to go watch it at your house.
why?
But this is a Clash of the Titans, you and I. I like sort of these debates that we have because they are really.
Oh, they get really heated, though. They do.
Wait till Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, it's going to be one for the ages.
So-
Done.
I'll
So
strap
Harley-
you over that one.
So here today we're talking about reboots, remakes, and nostalgia because everything's getting rebooted and remade from TV to film.
And I
it's
hate it.
just,
I hate
Harley
it
was like,
too.
we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this because she is so
Hate it.
hating it. So
Right
we
where
want to look
I will
at
cut
the
you
goods,
short.
we will look at the bads, we will look at the whys because, like Jim Hill told us weeks ago, no one's paying to watch anything original anymore. That's why every studio is just rehashing things because original content is too much of a risk. Look at what happened
Exactly.
with Larry and some of these other movies. No one's watching original content.
No one's watching original content, but when they watch the remakes, they're just gonna go ahead and bitch about it.
So
Well-
Which is what I
we
do.
allow this to
Come
happen.
out with like original content. What is
Well,
wrong with that?
Because original content
That's not
goes
what people like.
bankrupt.
Not all the time.
Because it's
No,
not
almost
familiar.
all the time.
And don't you dare bring up Valerian.
Not even just Valerian. Name an original.
Rebo,
name-
unfortunately tanked.
Yeah, Princess
True.
Bride tanked.
Princess Bride.
Okay.
Yes,
so
Princess Bride tanked.
I wanna
Every
get
great
Graham's
movie we
opinion.
love failed at the box office.
Graham, what
Yes.
is your opinion on reboots and remakes?
I'm not opposed to them. I just think that the market's oversaturated with remakes, prequels,
Exactly.
and sequels. I think where this started, if we want to get to the starting point of this, was 98 or 99 with Phantom Menace. Controversial statement, but based on the merits of Phantom Menace, there should have never been a sequel to that film. It's a really bad movie in my opinion.
Okay.
And because it said Star Wars, Phantom Menace, it started
Everybody
the
went and
brand
watched it.
labeling of these movies that it doesn't matter if the movie's shit, as long as it says Batman or Spider-Man.
You
or,
do remember we're on prime time.
We can't
wrong
say
crap.
bad words.
You do work here.
Yes. Crap.
You remember
Crap.
you remember the fines?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're paying them.
It's coming out of his paycheck.
So I
right.
get
We
it.
get paid?
You get paid.
It
I know.
started with the familiarity thing.
Not anymore.
Graham's like, I got fired for this place.
I disagree. I actually think it goes even a little step further back than that.
Okay.
I think it was when the 90s when they started trying to reboot all the horror movies.
Okay.
Leave my horror movies alone.
I don't think they were rebooting in the 90s. I think they were just keeping them going. I think Bride of Chucky was the real first.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a. Let's stop taking ourselves seriously. Jason X, fantastic. Stop taking ourselves seriously. They
that's
weren't
all
letting
Freddy
him go.
versus Jason.
Yeah,
That was a comedy.
but then they
So is
said,
Freddy
okay,
Chucky.
we're out of
Yeah.
ideas. We got to redo it. Like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, where they streamlined things. They redid Carrie. So horror movies are prime
and
for
look
that.
at it, look at it right now. They remade It.
Which I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna say it right now. I hated the TV movie. I hated
I
all
never
of that.
watched it.
But here's the thing.
I refuse
It's
to watch
alright.
it.
It's just
That wasn't even all right.
You know what's the
refuse.
scariest thing in the
all
world?
the
When you
things out
open
of
a
it.
fortune cookie and there's an eyeball in there.
Oh!
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's so frightening.
I think
That happens in the,
And the
miniseries.
Yeah,
In the
it's,
mini-
it's-
Really?
yeah.
It's because it's made for TV. They couldn't do the things that they would need to do. But then, you know, when we think about reboots, remakes, they're very popular these days, but we're not allowing them to happen. Like, The Fly was a reboot. Nobody complained about it because it was better than the black and white version.
Exactly.
Most people
Okay.
say. I happen to enjoy the 80s version of The Blob, except for the soundtrack, which sucked.
Yeah.
I actually, I like that soundtrack, but I love that movie. I think that the Blob remake with Kevin Dillon is actually really good movie.
It is a really good movie.
Yeah.
because
What about
My
the
hand
night-
is really close to a pair of scissors, and I'm ready to cut his ponytail off.
So,
Oh,
so
no,
What about
that's
the 1980s?
blasphemy.
What about the 1986 version of Night of the Living Dead, which was a remake, and it was made by George Romero, and all he wanted to do was change a couple things that he couldn't do back in the 50s.
It was
And that-
produced by Romero. I think it was directed
it was-
by.
it
It
was
was produced by
him.
But it was produced
But
by him.
see,
That
these
remake
were-
was
He was
actually-
also the writer for it.
I think
Yeah,
that
that's right.
remake was actually really well done. And
Right.
he did want to do that because he wanted to bring back the zombie franchise and get it more out there versus where it was.
Well, I
That
think
is
the
why. And it
issue
did
that with
well.
that is these were an occasional thing. It wasn't an every week thing. Every news story. Oh, they're rebooting Splash, but they're cross-gendering it. Oh, they're rebooting this. Oh, we get another version of this.
We're getting
The
a
one thing-
Leatherface movie.
Yeah, we're getting a Leatherface prequel. Like,
Well, but that's not.
we already know how it ends.
Except the thing is, with prequels and whatnot, they can work. If you're trying to tell a different part of the story, Leatherface, you're trying to explain the child. That's fine because you are going somewhere different. Yes, we know where it ends, but if we ever worried about where the thing again, the episode 1, 2, and 3 would have never happened. But there are a lot of other movies that would have happened, like Annabelle, which is actually a really good horror movie, and it does explain the villain and some of the characters
But
and
see,
where the ghost
that's,
comes.
that's a different type of prequel. When you're doing Leatherface, you know exactly where it goes. When
But
you're
it's
doing
the same
Rise of the
thing.
Lycans, you know exactly where it goes. So prequels aren't much better. It's just they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
And you could probably define that as a soft reboot. Like Star Wars 7 was sort of a soft reboot, sort of
Yeah.
having
It was
the
supposed
older
to be-
characters and the newer characters.
Reboot of Resident Evil. We just finished
Yeah,
the series,
we-
and now we're getting a
They
reboot.
just
Wait,
got
are they
done.
really doing
Yes.
it?
Yes,
Jeffrey.
they just
What?
got
No,
done
it
releasing
just
the
got
last
done
movie.
like the last one.
Not even a week
No.
later,
No,
they're like,
rebooting.
we're going back to the beginning to reboot.
Why? That does not need to be
Because
rebooted.
now they're doing it more toward the video game.
Which is fine because I'd actually like it if they did the
So
video game.
here's my
The
question,
fourth one will be
irritates
in
me.
Spain.
and I've talked to Graham about this before.
Yeah.
Why can we not accept reboots?
Your eye is twitching. That's how angry you are right now.
No, I'm not angry.
He's angry
He's
about
I-
that sick.
I think part of our problem with reboots is we put so much nostalgia and memories on things.
Yeah.
For instance, we've talked about Carrie. Okay,
I liked the
I
new
can't
one.
stand the original
It's
because
Brian De Palma. That's blasphemy.
okay, but here's why. Because back then,
This is why we have these two between.
Yes.
then,
You're separating Gavin and
people
I.
wanted to watch movies. You didn't have to explain everything on the screen. People read. They read books. They read Starlogs. So everything that you needed to know, they didn't want to waste film time with. People read.
And
so
now
you
we're
walked in
wasting
the movie
time.
knowing.
Yeah.
Today, we don't have that luxury. So the remake of Carrie, no one's read that book these days. So you go in, you need a story of why she's this way, why her mom's that way. I like everything being presented to me like that sometimes.
You like to have your hand held
Yes,
while
because
watching
I
a
don't want to
movie.
think when I go to a movie.
But-
I'm sorry, Graham.
I
I do
would
my
think-
explosions.
I don't want to ever not think during a movie.
There's
I-
some movies I like to think about, but like when it comes to something like Waking Life, screw that movie.
So
I overanalyze horror movies anyway.
Did you hear about the rebooting? I think I'm not sure. It might have just been rumored, but rebooting the Golden Girls.
Yes.
Yes, but it's going to be a bunch of gay guys.
It is.
Are they gonna be
It's
old
called
gay
the
guys?
Silver Foxes.
Yes.
Are they
Yes.
gonna? Oh damn!
Is it going to be called the Silver Foxes?
Yes.
Dennis's magical fingers are at my fingertips now.
So,
With
no.
a clicker.
So
We're done here. We're done.
so
But really,
I love
don't-
it the fact that
that's
our
gonna be interesting.
two guys.
I
are
love
like,
that fact that
yay,
I was the
nay.
only one that knew that was a real thing because I sent it to
realize
Phil
it was a
because
real
Phil
thing.
loves
Why-
Golden Girls.
So
Okay.
I would like to point out things. So one, what we consider classic Hollywood is based off nothing more than a large series of remakes. Wizard of Oz, the Judy Garland great movie that we've all seen 30,000 times, is a remake. The Bela Lugosi Frankenstein movie, a remake.
Boris Karloff.
Boris
Yeah.
Karloff is. Sorry.
Oh, you got
Frankenstein
schooled
remakes.
over there. He's like,
No, sorry. Bela Lugosi's Dracula, a remake. All Nosferatu.
I think a lot of the classical monsters have mostly gotten remade over that.
No,
Well, now
no,
we're
no.
getting a
No,
whole
I'm literally
series of
talking
fucking
about
monsters
that
again.
Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Boris Karloff's
Oh,
Frankenstein is
okay,
based
okay.
off a remake.
Of
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
No, those are like
Oh, all right.
Thomas
no, that was-
Edison-
Thomas Edison made Frankenstein in like 1901.
yes, and actually he actually filmed a dummy being burned backwards, so the monster was forming through fire and stuff, and
It was really cool.
it was really cool, and he did that.
I love how you
Hard-
just blew Jeffrey's mind right there.
I didn't know that.
It's like,
Yeah,
it's like
The Wizard of Oz had 5 movies
it does.
Before-
There's multiple books.
before Judy Garland's movie.
Jeffrey, I need to lend you the book.
But see, we grew up with these things and attached such a nostalgic memorial value to it that we're not always fair to the new versions.
Well, can I ask you this?
Yes.
How important is nostalgia to American culture right now? Because a lot of the movies that are being remade are either from the late 70s or the 80s. So nostalgia seems to be sort of a necessity almost
It is.
in the
We're
cinema.
going
But the
back
problem
to the
is
good
is
movies.
when they're saying, "Hey, we want to redo these," we're just thinking, "Oh, how great it was in the 70s and 80s." Some of these things were not good back then. We just have
Garbage Pail Kids.
It was a
Well,
good
the other
we just have these memories of us watching them as kids with our friends and things like that. Like, I just rebought Baby Secret of the Lost Legend on Blu-ray because I watched that all the time as a kid. It actually kind of holds up, but holy crap, that's not a very good movie.
I think
You know?
The thing is, though, in the 1970s, they were making things from the 50s.
No, they weren't. They were making exploitation movies in the
Yeah,
70s.
yeah, but a lot of them are based off of exploitation movies.
Exploitation Wizard of Oz.
But it was the
even-
Body Snatchers
Machiavelli
remake.
The
yeah.
Body
Yeah.
Snatchers remake, the Night of the Living Dead remake. There's a whole bunch of movies that got remade. They even remade Nosferatu in the 1980s.
Yes, they did.
It was like 79, but yeah, it was like
well,
Herzog,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Every
it-
time anyone says Nosferatu, I think my nose is running.
Yes.
Nosferatu, Jeffrey.
But and if you also look at certain things, like look at the first episode 4. It's a remake of The Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, and Hidden Fortress is one of the best films ever made.
Right.
For any Star Wars fan that, you know,
Sorry, I
you should
pissed
really
somebody
watch
off.
that movie.
So what we're realizing is remakes have always been there, but we accepted them then. Now,
Now
are
we
we
just
just
don't like
burned
it.
out?
Yeah,
Again,
Because that's all
burnt
we're
out.
getting.
The market's oversaturated with that.
But here's the
It
other
is
thing.
very oversaturated.
How do you mess up a remake so bad? Okay, I'm going to talk about the
dear.
one that I pissed off the most about. I love that cartoon called Reboot. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah,
But it's
okay.
not a reboot. It's
It's
No,
still
no,
good.
no.
You can go back and watch it. It's still really
So
good. Don't
they're
tell me.
rebooting the series, but it's 3 kids in a basement.
Yes.
But it's actually not a reboot. It's a sequel.
Whatever, reimagining.
No,
it's
it's a
3
soft
kids in a
reboot.
basement.
No, it's a sequel.
Is
They're-
it-
Bob and them are going to be there, but the viruses are now starting to affect the real world, like because we all have smartphones and everything. So they have to get the kids to help them.
This is not a good reboot. You know
But
what
it's
else
not a
wasn't a good reboot? The new Powerpuff Girls.
You should not reboot.
You should have
Completely
left
different.
my Powerpuff Girls alone.
Completely different show than what it used to be.
What?
What about
Stargate's being
Okay,
rebooted into a TV
Teen
series.
Titans?
Teen Titans.
Teen
not
Titans
the same
Go
thing.
needed to die.
But that's
Also,
actually not
the Mummy, the new Mummy movie.
That was fail sauce.
I mean,
I
when
saw
is
the
it-
trailer and I was like, no,
that's
done.
actually considered
Well-
a sequel because that's supposed to be Brendan Fraser's son.
No, it's not.
Can I just make one comment about
Yes.
the Mummy? I was very shocked and saddened that at no point during the Mummy remake,
Wait. Did you go
Did-
see it?
I didn't, but I've heard
Okay.
that at no point does Tom Cruise say, "Show me the Mummy."
This didn't happen.
Missed opportunity.
so
But he did get to run away from Sam.
So
Yeah, there you
The
go.
one of the few elements he hasn't run away from yet.
So I have a question. So with all these reboots, what is your opinion on Universal's new thing where they're rebooting all the
Done.
the
It's
movie
dead in the
monsters
water.
again?
it's dead
Well,
in the water.
it's-
I
Yeah.
mean, you have Johnny Depp playing the Invisible Man.
Done.
Well,
Javier Bardem, I believe, is Frankenstein.
Yes.
We're all
Yeah.
done.
I actually, the thing is this doesn't so much go into. This is another subject I want to go to later, but which is I'm tired of the everything has to be tied to a universe. I'm already
That's a whole other show.
right.
a whole nother thing.
Like the fact that they're rebooting Little Pet Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, we
They
talked
need
about
to
last
leave
week.
that alone.
What?
Or the gender swapping of them, just like
Yes.
the Splash gender swap remake does not make any
Sure,
sense to me.
but
A
to
mermaid
be
and a
fair,
woman-
Little Shop of
And then
Horrors
also-
was a remake.
True.
And
Little
look,
Shop of
at,
Horrors.
and look at all these, like, you got the super movies, or superhero movies. Okay, yeah, we know the Hulk sucked, but they remade it, and then we got Spider-Man and remade it.
How
There's
many
been like
times-
what 4 different Spider-Mans
Part
now?
of this is
It's
because
confusing,
studios
and I don't like it.
have to do something so they don't lose the licenses.
Well, how many times are you going to tell me Batman's backstory? Do you
Every
have to
single
hold
time
my
you do it.
hand every time and tell me, walk me down the...
got shot.
Yeah, my parents got shot, now I'm
My parents are
angry.
dead.
So,
But also at the same time, if you look at like Homecoming,
Tired of it.
but if you look at Homecoming,
Homecoming was fantastic.
right? But what do they treat Uncle Ben's death like? A little quick flashback. Now I'm done.
Good, as
Yeah,
long
but
as it's
that's
that.
but that's what I'm saying. They know now that the audience is so
Audience.
Audience,
let's go get
audience.
some coffee.
Shush. that we are that saturated. If you look at the stories behind what they're doing with the next Batman movie, they're treating it as you already know the beginning. We're going
Good.
somewhere else with it.
So-
But when they do the begin things like Batman Begins, that was actually really cool. His parents' death and then everything else afterwards.
Well, now we're getting... They're putting out Flashpoint.
Which makes no sense, but we're not talking about superhero movies. That's all other accomplished stuff.
Yeah, that's a whole other
So,
argument about reboots.
before we run
of
out of time,
superheroes.
what is your favorite rebooted movie? We'll start down there with you.
What's my favorite rebooted
Yes.
movie? Oh gosh, I don't know. I hate all the remakes.
No, you don't.
Seriously.
All right, Graham.
Come back to me. Come back to me on that.
I don't
one.
know if I can give you my favorite off the top of my head, but I can give you my most recent.
Okay.
And I thought the Coen Brothers' True Grit was superior to the John Wayne version.
Okay.
The Mummy, actually, not the Brendan Fraser one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually.
I was
that
gonna
is
check
one
your
of-
head,
Harley.
see
No,
if
no,
you're
no,
hot.
but the Brendan
in the
Fraser one.
East.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, sure.
Right.
I
got
will be the one that Graham will probably slap. I enjoyed the
Don't say it.
Total Recall remake.
What's wrong with you?
I watched it. It was
You
good.
know what?
It was not bad.
You know what?
It was closer to what I expected from the book.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Total Recall remake. I'm gonna with you on that one.
It
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
Graham's like,
just
wants
that
to see
remake,
her off
that was
camera.
actually
Paul-
really well done.
I would argue that
opinion,
Paul
Gavin's.
Verhoeven is the greatest living auteur on earth. You'll never be able to top that guy. So
Yeah.
why try?
All right, so that's
did
been our
like to-
talk about reboots, remakes, and just discussing it with Graham and getting to the point of some things. Up next is our 10 things list with Harley and Pocky. The unremakeable movie list, part 2. I can't wait
And
for
don't
Graham's
forget, if
side.
you guys want to give us more feedback about these remakes and such, go to our website, fanboytv.com, and message us there.
So stay tuned. We'll be back with 10 things.
We have taken the shot.
Bam.
10
Shot
things,
second.
unremakeable movies, part dos, the son of, if you would. Right now with me and Alice, we're
You're reading the
me and Harley.
teleprompter.
I accidentally read the helicopter. So yeah, Harley's gonna start this one off because I gave hers away.
Alice in Wonderland.
Which one?
I'm sick of them remaking it.
No,
I own
I mean,
every
like-
version they've put out, but I'm really sick of remakes.
So the BBC version, the Disney version, the other Disney version, or
I even have the creepy German version and the Alice in Wonderland porno.
So
My
yeah,
ex-husband bought that for me.
it happened, and it's also really weird. Is
And
that
it's a
one the mu-
musical.
I was gonna say that one's the musical. Yeah, it's a porn musical. I'd really recommend it if you want a good bachelor.
Highly recommended. It's a good movie.
It's a good bachelor party movie or bachelorette party.
No, it's just good in general.
Yes. So mine is number 9, and that is Evil Dead.
I'm sick of those remakes too.
No, wait, not Evil Dead. Army of Darkness.
Yeah,
Mine's
Army of
supposed to-
Darkness.
Army of Darkness is, you can't, because A, it's part of the trilogy.
Yeah.
But 2, like Bruce Campbell, that low budget, seeing the guy's shoe at one point
He's
in the
getting
camera.
old.
Well, it's not even like, even if we didn't choose Bruce Campbell, like just overall, that movie, it had a certain look, it had a certain feel. It was totally 1990s. And I mean, like him looking down at the night going, your shoelaces untied, and cold cocking him with a gun. I mean, you couldn't really do that. Also, you know, people were like, that's not historically accurate, and I don't care.
Shop smart.
Shop as smart. So number 8.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Unfortunately, we only have 5 minutes left of our thing. Otherwise, I would totally argue against this and say that it does really needs one because it's the Alan Scott comic book needs a actual good adaptation versus what it
Sean
got.
Connery.
Versus what it got with Sean Connery. And I like Sean Connery. I
He's
like him a lot.
hot. I'm sorry. He's
Indeed.
still hot as Alan Walker.
Indeed. And my number 7 is
Quartermain. I'm sorry. Alan Quartermain.
Spaceballs. Now, Spaceballs Mel Brooks got a lot of adult humor, but also had a really lot of subtle adult humor. It also had a lot of really subtle jokes. In modern comedy writing, subtlety doesn't exist unless it is through a frying pan to the face.
Yes.
An example, my wife even said this was the laziest joke I could come up with, and I agreed, and this will be probably in the trailer for the Spaceballs remake. Oh, she's Jewish? That must mean she likes the bush. That will be in the trailer come August 2019.
Though I watched Spaceballs before I watched Star Wars, so after watching Star Wars, a lot of stuff made sense.
The Schwartz.
The Schwartz.
Number 6 is yours.
I chose this one because it's one of Jeffrey and I's
Don't
favorite
you
movies.
even dare!
I don't want them to remake it.
Yeah, that's
Black
it's
Cauldron.
Black Cauldron. It's
They
we
can't
don't want the
remake it.
remake. They
They
don't want the
cannot
remake.
remake it.
No remake.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
So yeah. So now that
See,
we've
even
come down.
Jeffrey agrees with me.
So yeah, well Jeffrey will agree with anything with you. So and my number 5 is Event Horizon. Probably one of the best slow burn horror movies out there. I love this movie. It has almost nothing going on through almost a good third of it. And it just crawls the environment. I would watch this theater with 3 other people in the movie theater. It was like one of the last runs of the movie. And the theater was open, and I still felt like the walls were just too close on me. This movie was dark. It was gritty. And, you also had, Sam Neill right after Jurassic Park with, his eyeballs removed going, I am the pain! And it's a great movie, and there's no way they would put this. This would just get horrible, and somehow the chick would end up with no clothes, but still in space, because that has to happen.
True statement.
Your number 4 is a movie that. Why would anyone do this?
Waterworld. They're remaking Mad Max. Why wouldn't they remake Waterworld?
Because it was an absolute box office bomb, and nobody has that nice of a butt anymore.
Hey, I don't know. They could digitally enhance
Yeah, probably.
it.
I don't know. They had a stunt butt for her, so that probably happened. And
Really, stunt butt?
yeah, that wasn't her butt.
Oh, that.
But yeah,
that
no,
was ruined it for
you're
me.
you know what? I do agree though, because no Hollywood studio go. You want to spend how much on the set? Can't we just go in the middle of the ocean and leave them there for a week? I don't know, because that movie was one of the most expensive movies that flopped ever.
That's
So my
sad.
number 3 is a John Woo classic. I love John Woo. John Woo is a great director, and that is Hard Boiled. This movie is, as this kind of lived up to. The first 11 minutes of this movie teaches every director what they need to know to make a great action sequence. The opening sequence is Chow Yun-fat and a bunch of other shooters in a cafe with canary cafe. It's full of canaries. And a gun deal goes bad. They start busting up the cages to get to the guns, and they do this gigantic shootout. It also has the famous sequence where he gets on the rail and he slides down and he shoots it. That's the first time that sequence happens.
That's a really nice sequence.
And it's an
I do
awesome,
like that sequence.
yeah. That first 11 minutes alone of this movie could never get remade, and it needs to teach directors how to make a great action sequence. The cameras are awesome in it, and seriously, the way that movie ends, it would never get made that way again, because that ending fits the movie, and they would ruin it. Your number, yeah. These are now the ultimates.
Unfortunately, I know they're rebooting it.
No, they canceled that.
No, they're not. They rebought it back.
Oh.
I'm sad to say, The Labyrinth.
Well, wait, aren't they doing the Son of the Labyrinth, the sequel?
No, well, okay. So it's got Johnny Depp is cast already, and so is Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga is supposed to play the queen of the Goblin Queen. Yes.
And I'm like, I don't. They're touching my movie, and I don't want to say I'm not gonna watch it, but I unfortunately have to.
But it's a sequel, so I mean, it's not technically a remake.
It's just you can't do it without David Bowie.
And I'm kind of glad they would do it without David Bowie right now, because older David Bowie may not have looked as good in that.
No, he would have been hot either way. I don't care.
Probably.
I
Probably.
will bring back the throwing shoe, Pocky.
So my number 1 is the movie I think every one of us in the studio could absolutely agree with, because right now I'm getting a bunch of shake heads. Everyone's like, yeah, there's no way. The Princess Bride.
I'd be okay with it.
You can't, because here's the thing. That movie, 1, failed in the box office, and 2, that's one of the reasons it wouldn't succeed, because they look at, that movie failed, there's no way we'll remake it. 2, that cast, that director, everything about that movie was literally lightning in a bottle. There is nobody I could think of that could replace any one of those characters and those actors as those characters. I couldn't see it. Even getting the who's the big guy from Guardians of the Galaxy to play Andre the Giant's character. What? Batista. Get Batista.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. But getting
got me.
even getting that done, it's that movie. There's something about it, it was a.
I mean, you can't
total-
replace Andre the Giant because he was such. a sweetheart.
Right, but even getting Carrie Ellis as getting someone to play Carrie Ellis, Carrie Ellis's character. Anyway, it wouldn't work, and it just this day and age, it's also too happy of a movie. So right now, we're gonna call this top 10 list done.
Yeah, because we can sit here and argue about this.
Oh yeah, we could argue about everything, but so we're gonna have a bonus round. I don't know what it is because Gavin won't tell us.
I saw Barbies, so.
So we're mostly terrified. Here it comes next, and I'm sorry for all the children in the room.
I will share McVoodoo with you next time we're on the show because you have to see this. Bring everyone out. So, Graham, what do you think?
I love being on the show. Thank you so much for having me.
It was lots of fun. We need to adjust camera 2 because Graham's not on with us.
Camera 3.
I got my Starfleet membership certificate, which I was really happy about.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have to lean over.
And
It comes
so,
that way.
and also our special guest who walked in the studio today because I want to do a midnight horror show, and she's going to be our new horror icon for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Lulu.
You, Lulu.
Jeffrey did the Jeffrey noise.
Yay.
Oh, what?
So anyways, guys, we hope you really enjoyed tonight's episode. I think it was...
We do have lots of fun.
I think it was a lot of fun. Your guys' like Geek versus Geek, though, was hysterical.
If you'd like
Oh
to
my
argue
gosh.
with us about reboots,
Yeah,
you can find us
hit us up online.
fanboytv.com,
next
fanboytv
week-
on Facebook.
We may do a double episode of Zombie Life since they're not on tonight.
Double feature.
So I'm not sure what's
Zombie
happening
Life
next week during our
TV.
time slot, but we do have Ladies of Fandom up next, which is, do we know what they're having on?
Nope.
Yeah?
What
Ladies
are
and
they
Phantoms
having?
next.
Yeah, what are
What are
they
they
talking
doing?
about? They didn't tell me what they're talking about yet.
What are they talking about?
It's a
Tune
mystery.
in after this.
And then Combat Creations is building what?
We are just using hot glue, and that's all I'm gonna say. Hot glue, burning my hands. God
Expect
help me.
lots and lots of birds.
You know,
So-
one time he hot glued his hair.
Yes.
We're not gonna talk about that.
We have all
That's
sorts
why
of
I
fun.
had
So,
shave my
Graham, I
head
want
all
to
the
thank you for
time.
coming out.
Thank you for having me.
And we will be
you.
doing Graham versus Gavin very soon. And our first battle will be the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
Because I happen to be a fan of the reboot, and he happens to not.
I happen
So-
to think that the original is one of the best films ever made.
Yeah, so
I have a picture of my middle child slung over Robert Englund's arm with him scratching his back with the Freddy claws on.
Oh my god.
And when he was a week old, I literally have that picture.
Oh my god. Very
Wow.
cool. I mean, that's how we top that, Gavin. I mean,
Although I do like the actor who played Freddy Krueger in the remake. That was the only good thing about that movie.
yeah, his name is Rorschach
Yes.
it's not Rorschach.
because he played
Oh.
Rorschach.
But
Graham is no
wait,
longer
what
allowed to be on our
he was
show.
also the- he
I'm
was
making that
also-
rule right now.
he was also the pitcher in the original Bad News Bears.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Jackie
Yes.
Earle Haley.
Bad News
Yeah.
Bears.
The original Bad News Bears. He was the
I
pitcher.
can't even right now.
Yes.
So, where can they find more about you online? Are you even online? Like, I've never actually asked you.
are you?
Yeah, I know. I don't have. I'm not a big online guy. I mean, we do have a new show that's coming to Austin Public on Channel 10. It's a kind of a film variety show. We're still working on a title, but stay tuned for that. It'll be
Which makes
fun.
me happy that I don't have to worry about doing a
not
new
bad.
show.
Yeah.
Pocky, they can find you streaming stuff.
They will find me streaming shortly after some lawsuits. I'll be streaming again.
Jeffrey, with your...
Don't even. You see our hair
She
color?
made it look good.
Oh.
You made it look like a crack whore.
Well,
But you also
I
can.
love you too.
He's
Gavin.
also-
Where can they find you online?
I'm on Facebook, Snapchat, everything under Lulu Deadly. You can also find me at Control Alt Doom TV, streaming indie horror on Twitch TV.
Yep.
I love it already.
Jinx or Major Xbox. Come play with me.
Creepy cosplay.
Behind the
twisted
costume,
threads,
all sorts of
behind
fun
the
things.
costume.
Also this weekend, Jeffrey will be not in Austin.
Oh, is this weekend Geek
Or next
Fest?
weekend? Is it-
No,
It's
we're
next
next
week-
weekend.
Next weekend, come
Next
back.
week you can find Jeffrey,
Yeah.
Combat Creations, and I at Geek Fest in Killeen, Texas.
Yeah, we'll
Plus-
actually, Combat Creations will be filming an episode there. So if you want to be part of the audience, come see us.
And
I
I'll be in the vendor's
understand.
room.
That there's a big creepy cosplay
Oh, yes.
Combat Creations build-off happening at the end of the month in the studio at
Yes.
8 o'clock.
starting at 8 o'clock on August 31st. We will be in
The
here.
first build-off
Let's-
between our two costuming shows.
Let's just say that
I have a-
you guys are in for a real big
treat.
surprise.
I have a
It'll be
question.
treat.
Yes.
What's the fire insurance like in this place?
Because Jeffrey's gonna catch
We've
himself
only
on
caught
fire.
the studio on fire twice.
I think
three
it's
times.
don't even
3
try
times.
that. I think that's
No,
the
we caught it on
insurance
fire like
policy that
3
we have.
times. I found out if you put a Dremel to a cardboard shoebox, it will catch fire. If you use plastic
Why
and
are
you
you
melt
tell-
it too much, it's going to catch
We're
fire.
going home now, 5
All right, so that's
Fire
it.
from... Oh, wait.
We'll see you guys next week, maybe, unless Zombie Life's in here. If not, then it's going to be the Mary Sue Girls taking over the show. So we'll see. Well, that's going to happen no matter what this month, just so you know. But we'll see you guys next week.
Next week.
Bye, guys.